As you can tell, I've probably done this a few times. It's a very common repair. We're going to replace the focusing cam. My photo instructor knew I needed a job, and he had a connection with the person who owned the camera store. He says, go down and see Art Hertzfeld at Wilson Camera. And Art had 2 or 3 stores at the time, and his main store was on 2nd and Adams in downtown Phoenix, before downtown Phoenix was much of anything. So I pedaled down there on my bike and went inside, and people were sitting on benches waiting for an interview, and I just sort of walked in, popped my head in his door and said, I'm Joe. Alan Dutton sent me. And he got up right away, introduced himself, and said, thank you for coming. Let me show you what you have to do. So that was my job interview. I did, just sort of felt right in. But at $1.90 an hour, which was minimum wage, it kept groceries on, in the refrigerator. And after 30 days, I got a 10-cent raise, $2 an hour. I worked there for about 3 months. And he said, come here, I got a new job for you. I want you to be our new repairman. And I was sort of joking. I said, I'm not a repairman. He says, well, the last guy I had wasn't a repairman either, but I've got a deal for you. We had boxes and boxes of broken cameras that needed to be repaired. He says, fix those, whatever we sell, I'll give you half. So basically no salary, it's all strictly commission. The first month I made $50. And I had no intention to be a camera repairman until someone says, you will be one. Many times I thought that, God, how can I do this? This is so difficult. But I said, I'm not going to fail at this. I'm going to try this. It got to the point where I was making a living, and I thought I'd be on my own. And I opened up a little store in Tempe, a little 250 square foot office, and I hired a friend of mine to help me along. So the two of us sort of sat there and worked and worked and worked until we built up more business. And then I hired more and hired more and hired more. I built my first building back in the late 70s, and I built this building in the mid to late 80s. We've been in this building 27 years. A typical camera store is basically just a camera store. They sell widgets. Our operation is quite unique. There might be maybe a dozen places like ours in the whole United States, where we have a very, very large rental department that rents everything from little cameras to 8x10s and whatever. We have a very professional repair department, people with lots of years of experience repairing. And we have a full-service photo lab. Most camera operations don't have that. They're basically little camera stores. They sell cameras and that's it. With film cameras, you repair. This part isn't working too well, it needs a heavier spring. Or this piece isn't mating as well, it needs to be bent. With digital, circuit out, circuit in. That's the change. You don't repair circuits anymore, you're just replacing parts. And it's taken some of the magic out of it. It used to be fun. Wow, what can I do to make this work? Oh, I can bend this. And, oh, wow, it's working, great. Those days are gone. So we're in a very disposable society. I have boxes and boxes of broken cameras that aren't repairable economically. I enjoy what I'm doing. I have great people I work with. As long as I have those, I'm very content. I plan on sitting right here until I flop over, and hopefully they'll pick me up, put me in a nice pine box, and send me on my way.